Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
My name is Eli.
And my name is Jaden. And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah, and this is Youth for Yah.
Last week we talked about staying pure, keeping yourself undefiled in chapter 5 of Proverbs. So today we're on Proverbs 6. And we thank you guys all for joining us. We will have a Telegram link in the description below, which is already should be there if you guys want to join the group. It is there. We would very much appreciate if you join it. It's mostly for the youth, but adults can join in too if they would like. We thank you guys so much again for joining us. We really appreciate you guys taking some time off on your day to listen to us talk about the Word, Yah's Torah, the most important things in life. If you have any prayer requests or anything you would like to ask for, any questions, please put it down in the comments, or you guys can send it to us through an email. We thank you guys for listening to this. We ask that you guys take it to heart and that you understand this. So Eli, he's going to start us off in Proverbs 6. And before we start, this is a really important chapter. We're going to go over several different subjects, but it's really super important.
Every chapter of Proverbs is very important. Every chapter should be applied to our lives from a very young age.
Alright,
Eli.
Proverbs 6, verse 1. My son, if you be surety for your friend, if you have stricken your hand with a stranger, you are snared with the words of your mouth. You are taken with the words of your mouth.
So, real quick, so this is if you make a promise to your friend, right? If you make a promise you will never be able to keep. This friend says, hey, you promised me one day, if I ever go into debt, you need to give me X amount of money. Would you be able to do that? And you're like, okay, friend, I'll do that. And then one day he goes into debt and
you can't pay that back.
Yeah, you can't pay him. You can't make that promise you made. He's going to be like, hey, you promised me this. And he's like, oh, sorry, man, didn't expect this happening. So, continue on.
Alright, verse 3. Do this now, my son, and deliver yourself. When you are come into the hand of your friend, go, humble yourself, and make sure your friend.
So it talks about coming in.
So it talks about how if you cannot make this promise, go to your friend and apologize. Ask for forgiveness because you cannot keep this promise. So you need to, before this comes to worse, you need to say, hey man, I can't keep this promise. So you guys will want to go to this person and be like, hey, I can't keep my promise. I'm sorry, as a person, as a friend, I just won't be able to do this. And Solomon makes sure, he's like, hey guys, you make sure you do not promise things you cannot do. Do not make promises you cannot keep.
Verse 4. Give not sleep to your eyes, nor slumber to your eyelids.
So he's basically saying, like, you need to do this now. Don't rest on this. Don't wait on this, because if you wait, you never know what the next day is going to bring. This person may end up doing something, and you may end up having to fulfill that promise, and it can get you into a lot of trouble.
Verse 5.
And you could also lose a friend if you can't keep your promise.
If this friend is someone you value and someone that is good in your life and is helping you out in life, and you can't keep that promise.
Yeah, that friend will look at you and he probably won't trust you as you can't keep your promises. So Solomon knows a lot about trust and understanding people. That a lot of people can't keep promises they make, so don't make promises you can't keep.
Yeah, definitely take it from him. He's the king, right? He had a bunch of brothers that ended up trying to become king over him, trying to get rid of him. So he knows what trust is all about. He knows the importance of trust.
Verse 5. Deliver yourself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler.
So mine says the fowler is just a hunter. So, yeah, if anybody gets confused on fowler, but again, he's like, quickly do this quickly. Like when you're in the traps of when a bird is in a net, right? He's gonna be flying away. He's gonna be trying to get out.
Yeah, any animal that knows it's being hunted runs away very quickly. It does not stay in place. It will move and get out of danger. So that's what you need to do. You need to move and get out of danger and go and undo what you've done.
Verse 6. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways, and be wise.
So, real quick, it says, go to the ant, you sluggard, but I'm reading out of how to use Scriptures. He is reading out of the Sefer. And it says, go to the ant, you lazy one.
And so we're jumping subjects here to another subject. We're talking about laziness. And the reason we lazy people need to go to the ants, because ants are consistently working. They don't stop. They don't sit down. They don't lay down. They are consistently moving food. They're always in a pattern. Once they deliver it, they go right back. If you sit there and watch ants, you will see that they are consistently working. And that is what Solomon knows is right, is to be a hard worker. He doesn't want you to be a lazy person.
Verse 7. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provides her meat in the summer, and gathers her food in the harvest.
So the ants have nobody over them, right? They don't have a manager, they don't have a boss. They are consistently working and knowing that they need food in the summer, right? Because you don't have rain in the summertime, so you need to be having your food during the rain, and when the rain is there, you need to be bringing your food back home.
In verse 9, how long will you sleep, O sluggard? When will you arise out of your sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come as one that travels, and your want as an armed man.
So basically he's like, why do you stay in bed? Like, it's daytime, right? The sun's out, you should be out being productive. And for young people that cannot go out and get jobs, that are, their parents are still providing for them, the best way you can help them out is do the things that they ask around the house. The basic things: sweep the floor, mop the floor, clean the table, do the dishes. Do the basic things your parents ask, right? For those that are older, right? If you don't work, you're gonna starve to death. If you're on your own, if you don't work, you don't eat, right? You can't go get food unless you steal it, which is wrong, right? And you shouldn't be stealing food. It's much better to work for it, to ask for it, than it is to steal it. And that's what it says. Like, so it says that if you sleep, like he says, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands, right? He's like, you go to bed, you roll around, and you sleep through the daytime, and that's just what laziness is. You should be up when the sun is up, and you should be being productive in your family life and in your work life. You need to, if you sleep all your life, you sleep your life away, you are going to miss out on a lot of things that would benefit you in the future.
Yeah, I want to talk a lot about planting and what we do around here, because I want to go back to the part about the ant and works in the summer. Because in the summertime when there's no rain, you can't really grow crops unless you have a certain water source. And most people don't with big crops and big fields. They don't have a water source. And so where we live, we have two seasons. We have consistent wet and consistent dry. So we'll have half a year of wet and half a year of dry. And half the year we have to be being productive, and in the other half of the year we do other things. We do other things that can benefit the farm for the next coming
right, like we
season.
Could dig wells. We could prepare the next area by clearing when all the grass and all the weeds, when they die off, when all this stuff stops growing. We can cut that all down and get the next field ready for the season.
Right, and so if you guys are not planting or somehow storing food right now, because this is for future reference as well. A lot of times there won't be food, and we can see around the world there's not a lot of food. There's some places where there's food shortages. So it's a great time to be stocking up your food for the summertime. And the summer, in this case, is the future, because in the future you will need food.
Or what a lot of people refer to as winter, which
right.
is like winter is coming, right? Winter is here. Winter you can't go out and you can't grow crops.
Right. So now is a great time to be growing and stocking up food. It's a great time, because in summertime or winter, depending on wherever you live, you will not be able to grow crops, and sometimes when there's no food, you got to be able to produce your own food. So if you could make little gardens or a little something, you have an area, it'd be a great time to start growing stuff.
So, and to like basically wrap that little thing we just talked about there is, don't stay out of work. You need to enjoy the work you do. You need to go embrace that work, because if not, you will go hungry one way or another. Like children, if you young people, if you don't have your family and they're sitting there working, feeding you, having a job, and sitting there living their life out trying to provide for you, if you don't help them, you're taking food out of your mouth, because they could be working and doing other things, but they're doing your job that they asked you to do. So that's why it's important that everyone does their part in the family. It's like gears. You look at little gears and how it makes the motor run, and when one tooth of the gear breaks off, the motor starts choking. It starts skipping.
It puts a lot of stress on the other gears
until the rest of them break.
Because they now have to hold more weight.
Everybody has their important job, and that's why it's so important that we read Proverbs. That's why it's so important that we understand this, because it's like, if you don't help your family will eventually break down, and it may not be instant, but it will eventually be
over time.
It will break over time.
All right, verse 12. A naughty person, a wicked man, walks with a froward mouth. He winks with his eyes. He speaks with his feet. He teaches with his fingers. Frowardness is in his heart. He devises mischief continually. He sows discord.
So we got a little bit of another thing here, right? We're going into these things, and this was a very, last time it was just all about purity. Last time it was all about purity.
Right,
this
keep
time,
yourself pure and clean.
This time we're kind of going to different subjects, but they'll all correlate here. You'll see very soon. They'll all get together, and you can put them all together at once. But it talks about a person. And mine says a man of Belial, which is a man of wickedness. So it says a person that speaks with a firm mouth, a person that is very foul in his language, a person that is very bad in his language, a person that winks with his eyes. Right? You see a person that does bad, and they wink like, "Hey, this is just a joke," and you know they're doing wrong, and they wink with it. I don't know if you've ever seen those people. There's people out in the world that will do that. People that speak with their feet is the people. The way they're walking, you know what they're about to do, right? You can tell by their actions what they're about to do. And the way he teaches with his fingers is he's always causing destruction, trying to do whatever he desires, right? This is the person you want to stay away from. And another thing we can get out of this is you want to stay away from these people because eventually, when you hang out with someone long enough, these things
they rub off on you. They end up rubbing off on you. You become somebody you don't recognize anymore. And when you don't recognize this person anymore, you wonder why this happened to you. And you realize that hanging with the wrong crowd pollutes you. And it truly does pollute you. Hanging with wrong people can turn you into a bad person. You might have been a good person. You might have been a Torah here. But then you hear people who are doing evil things, little crimes, little evil things that are against the Torah. And you realize that you don't want to be with these people anymore because they are not keeping the Torah. And they're against everything you love.
Yeah, so stay away from these crowds. Stay away from the people. If those out of you that are still not able to basically stay out of the world, those that have like school lives or jobs or have to basically be in the world to live, you will notice these people, and those are the people you're going to want to stay away from.
Alright, verse 15. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy.
So basically, it's like these people, Yahuwah's going to smite these people. Their judgment's going to come, and it's going to come suddenly. They never know what hit them.
The wicked people that have been doing wickedness, all of a sudden, it's like they're doing evil. They think they're the top of the world, and all of a sudden, they are destroyed. Yahuwah is done with their wickedness and their evil. He's like, I'm done, and this is what you get. I'm going to destroy you now for this.
And if it's not in this life, they will be judged in the next life, because every action and every idle word, every deed will be accounted to you, and you will have to account for these on Judgment Day and be like, what was this? Why did you do this? And all you can do is shrug your shoulders like, oh, I don't know, I didn't know, I wasn't supposed to do that. But that's why we're here today, is because you know you're not supposed to do these things now. Now you've heard these things, there's no excuse, so you should not do these things.
Verse 16. These 6 things Yahuwah hates, yea, 7 are an abomination to him.
So we have 7 things that Yahuwah hates. And now, hate is a very strong word for Yahuwah, right? He hates a few things, and very few things. He's a very compassionate, loving creator. He is merciful. So for him to hate something, that's huge. That's like a huge thing. So let's see what these hateful things he hates are.
A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood.
Alright, so we got 3 big things right there.
Three huge ones.
So we have a proud look. People that are proud, you can definitely tell when people are proud. They have a chip on their shoulder. They think they're better than you. And they're just very haughty, very arrogant people that have the proud look. They think they're so good, but they do not know Yahuwah, and they trust in this world more than Yahuwah, and they end up being punished for it. And the second one is a lying tongue.
And now, a lying tongue is, you'll run into, again, like those that are out in the world that have to live in the world, unfortunately. You will run into people that are called habitual liars. And they will lie through everything, no matter what it is. Their tongue will just rattle off a lie. They'll speak to you and you know it's a lie because that's all they can say is lies.
Even regular lies. People like us, we shouldn't be lying. But he hates that. If we lie, he hates our tongue. He hates our lying tongue.
Right, and that's why if you are in a habit of lying, I suggest that you pray, that you repent, even possibly fast, because lying is a terrible thing to get into.
Alright, the other one was a hands that shed innocent blood.
So basically, people that go off to hurt people that do not deserve to be hurt, people that basically hurt people, that harm people that are innocent, that never deserve to be harmful. That is something Yahuwah hates.
And verse 18. A heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief.
Alright, so a heart that devises wicked imaginations.
So, a heart that devises wicked imaginations is like someone is sitting there scheming evil. Like, what can I do that is this? How can I do this? How can I And a thing that would be evil is like someone did you wrong, right? And you sit there and you think about how you can get this person back, what you can do. And that's what you should not do. You should forgive this person. You should not be thinking the evil thoughts, because when you have evil thoughts, you're lowering your guard to let the demons in. When you lower yourselves into negative things, that's what Allah wants. He wants negativity.
He wants you to think evil things that are not of Yahuwah. And when you think these evil things, you think of sinning and doing wicked things, you end up letting demons and devils in.
And sometimes people don't come back from that. I mean, you look through all of Yeshua's journeys, Yahusha, the Savior, the Messiah, how there were people that were hurting themselves. Like the demons were so bad in these people that they would end up hurting themselves because it was so bad. Like they would chain them up and they would just break off and go hurt themselves. Yeah. And that's something you don't want to get into. You don't want to let those demons in when you let your guard down and do wicked things.
Alright, and now we got feet that be swift to running to mischief.
So people that are always running to hurt the people that are
running to
they're quick to do evil. They're quick to do.
They enjoy it. They love it, and we can't be those kind of people because the people of Yahuwah are doing good. They want to help people. They want to help people that have been hurt. They look out for the widow and the fatherless.
And another thing that could be a feat that are swift to running into mischief could be people that are always in the drama, right? You hear someone always talk about drama, always gossiping. That could be something that's swift to running to mischief, right? You're swift to running to more problems because the drama is something you do not want in your life. You want peacefulness, right? If you have all this drama negativity, it wears you down and also again lowers your guard for more demons.
Verse 19. A false witness that speaks lies, and he that sows discord among brethren.
So basically, it says a false witness speaks lies. We have two things about lying in here. Now, a false witness speaks lies is someone that will lie about something. We talk a lot about the Torah, about false witnesses, and how they witness wrong, or they say something, or they're doing it for somebody they like, or they're doing it because they got paid off, or something like that. And they want to lie because of whatever reason. But they talk about lying twice. Lying is a very, very important thing to Yahuwah, that you tell the truth. He wants the truth. The truth is what the Torah and the Bible is. All the books of the Bible is truth. And that is what we need. We do not want anything outside of the truth. And if you are lying, that is a sin. You have sinned. You need to repent for that sin. And you need to repent to the person that you lied to. Because you don't just sin against Yahuwah, you sin against another person by lying to them.
So yeah, we get another thing that says, he that sows discord among brethren. So basically, a brother could be your brother in the flesh, or it could be your neighbor, your friend, someone you know.
Someone in an assembly.
Yeah, and you say something that you know that's going to anger them, just to anger them. You do something that can anger them. That's what it means to sow discord among your brethren.
Verse 20. My son, guard your father's commandment, and forsake not the Torah of your mother. Bind them continually upon your neck, and tie them about your neck.
Alright, so it says, my son, guard your father's commandment, and forsake not the Torah of your mother. Now there's two different types of Torahs. There is the Torah of Yahuwah, the one in the Bible, and then there's the Torah of a household. You will have laws like you do the dishes, go to bed at a certain time. There's a Torah of the house. There's a Torah of each person has their own Torah, what they like doing and what they don't do, right?
Because Torah just means instructions. What to do? You are instructed to go to bed at 8:30 p.m. every night.
Right, and if you don't do that, you're breaking the Torah of the household. Like say you have to take out the trash every single day. This is your thing. Take it out every single day after you do something. That is the Torah of the house. And when you break the Torah of the house, you break obeying your parents, and so you break both Torahs. You break the Torah of Yahuwah and the Torah of the household.
So we get into all these things here, right? We've gone down all the way to 20 verses, and now he says, listen to my words, listen to what I have to say, listen to my instructions, I will guide you. And why does he say that? Because these are extremely important things, right? Don't be a liar. Make sure you don't get caught up in these promises you can't keep. Work so you do not starve. And those are important things. He's like, these are life lessons you absolutely have to know.
These should be applied to our every single day lives.
He's basically wrapping up this paragraph, this area, but he continues on and he says,
and it says, when you go, it shall lead you. When you sleep, it shall guard you. And when you awake, it shall talk with you.
So these commands and these lessons that you learn from your parents, they will walk with you all your life.
23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the Torah is a light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. To guard you from the evil one, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
So basically now he's like, these commandments, you're going to be thinking about them all the time, right? You know you're going to get up, you know you're going to be a holy person, right? You're going to go throughout your day, and you're not going to go fall into the temptation of sin, because you have the Torah, you're listening to my Torah, you're listening to the words I'm telling you. And then he goes, and then you're going to stay away from the strange woman, you're going to stay away from something that is unholy.
Or it could be the strange man as well.
Right, correct. It could also be the man. It could also, for the different people out there, it can be either or.
All right, the Grand, thank you for joining us.
Verse 25. Lust not after her beauty in your heart, neither let her take you with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
So he started with like, listen to my words. If you do these commandments, you're not gonna fall into this the trap of the adulterer. You're not gonna fall into these traps. And he's like, when you go out and you basically become an adulterer, your life, you basically lose everything, and all you have left is a piece of bread. And a piece of bread isn't a lot. It maybe fill you for a few hours, for a few minutes, but it's not a lot. You will forever be empty inside. You will forever lose something that you once had, which was your holiness, your purity, your chance to be the 144,000.
Verse 27. Can a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals, and his feet not be burned?
All right, so it says, can a man go upon fire, put a fire to his chest, and not be burned?
Right? Can he stand in fire and not burn to death?
See, he's pretty much saying that can you hold fire to yourself and not be burned? Because you will end up being burned if you are an adulterer.
Verse 29. So he that goes into his neighbor's woman, whosoever touches her shall not be innocent.
So there's a few things here, right? It's like, if you go in and you become an adulterer and you have relations with another man's wife, that a man that thinks he's having married, you will either be punished by Elohim, which you will absolutely be punished, but you can also be, it says he shall not be innocent, he who touches her shall not be unpunished. This dude may beat you up, this dude may hurt you may get very hurt doing these things, and that's why Solomon's like, kids, you guys need to live a life of holiness,
of purity.
Says it will keep you out of trouble. It will keep you out of all these problems your life can get into, all because you stayed away from these mistakes.
You know, when he says the Torah is a light, it is the light we should be following. If we don't see this light in front of us, if this light is not directly in front of us, we need to find that light and follow the light. Because if we don't follow this light, we are veering off into darkness, and we may become some sinful person. So if we are not following the light that is in front of us, then we are sinning.
Verse 30. Men do not despise a thief, if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house.
So it's strange here because we go into, why does he break into this now as a thief, right? We're talking about adulterers. We're talking about people that go and commit adultery with another man's wife. Why would he all of a sudden be talking about a thief? We have to understand here that he's saying, you will be so hungry, you're gonna want to steal. You're gonna want to do this. But he says people that when they're starving, right? They go and steal food.
Yep.
Nobody bats an eye. It's like, okay, you were hungry. I understand.
But when you get found out what you've done, you will get punished.
Yeah, it's like according to the Torah, if you steal, you're supposed to repay sevenfold to reimburse that person and to basically fulfill out your discipline.
And it'll probably be charged from Yahuwah that 7 times paid back for becoming an adulterer.
Right. So that's why I talked about that, because it's like you're gonna end up in the gutters. You're gonna end up in the terrible ends of life if you do these things.
Verse 32. But whoso breaks wedlock with a woman lacks understanding. He that does it destroys his own soul.
And that's what we've been talking about for the last 6 chapters now, is that he who defiles himself with a woman
or
loses his soul, and he doesn't understand that why he says he doesn't understand this. He doesn't understand how important his soul was. He went for his earthly lusts over the holiness of Elohim.
Verse 33. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away.
So this dude's going to end up scarred, and this dude's going to end up with no honor left. And honor is like something people hold up high. It's like your respect. If people hold you up respectfully, if you have respect from people, it's great. But when you go off and you commit adultery with another man's wife, or you commit adultery and people hear about this thing, you get no honor left. There's no respect for you because you are just a filthy person.
Verse 34. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance.
Like I said before, and that's why everything starts making sense here all of a sudden, is because he's like, the person that takes a man's wife is not going to go untouched. Because jealousy is a rage of a man. When a man is angry or has rage or violence, it is very hard to stop this man until he fulfills what he wants. And that is also a problem in itself, but this is a righteous judgment to feel angry that he was cheated on. You took his wife, he hates you now for the rest of your life. He's going to despise everything you do, and you might get very much hurt. He might send you to the hospital.
Verse 35. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though you give many gifts.
Like, you may try and make it right a million times, and he's still going to be angry. There's nothing that is going to stop this dude from you destroying what he thought a happy marriage.
Or she thought a happy marriage.
Right.
This happens for both man and woman.
And so that was the end of the chapter. For a little bit we're going to go over a quick recap here. The first thing was, if you make a promise you cannot keep, if you make a promise at all, go fix it right away. And make sure don't think about it. Don't wait for another day. You don't know what the next day can bring.
Make sure you know what you can promise, and make sure you have what you can promise. Because if you cannot fulfill that promise, do not make that kind of promise.
So now, and then we go into the ant, the lazy one. If you are lazy and you need some inspiration to work, go look at the ants. Go look at how the ant works. He's providing for his entire colony. That one small thing he's doing, it may not seem like a lot, but he's providing meals for years for these ants. They are storing up for the winter. They are preparing themselves, and that is something everyone should do. Whether they help their families out by doing the dishes and getting everything clean when they get home so they can bring in the food to cook, or whether it is the adults or the older people that are out planting or working for their food, you absolutely need to be doing that, or you are going to go hungry when there is nothing left.
Right, and the ant never stops working food during the time he can, but when there is no food to be had, that's when he takes his break. So there's always a time for you to play or rest or recharge, but while there is harvest time, you need to be out working.
Okay, and then for the third section of the third thing we can learn from this chapter is to not be the person that is there to cause problems at all times. Do not be the one that is there to make everyone go astray, that causes everyone stress, that causes everyone anxiety. Do not be that person, because you will get destroyed. And then the fourth thing is the things that Yahuwah hates. And we're going to go over a proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that are swift to mischief, a false witness that speaks lies, and people that cause problems among brothers or among people, friends, family. You don't want to be that person.
You don't want to be the problem guy.
It's not healthy for you. It lets demons in. It's just a very, very wrong thing to... You want peace in this world, right? Elohim didn't create the world to have war. He created to have peace, to have people that would honor him, the people that would obey him and listen to him. He didn't create it so that everyone could cause fights and cause problems at all times. And then the fifth thing is basically listen to your parents, right? Listen to those who are teaching you.
Remember their instructions, because their instructions will help you throughout your life. And if they are following the Torah, their instructions will probably be right. They will probably know what they're doing, because they base their lives upon what Yahuwah has told them. And so, guys, if your parents tell you to do something, remember this. Remember the lessons they teach you. Remember how they treat you. Remember what the Yahuwah wants for you. He wants you to obey your parent. That is a command in the Torah. And if you hate what your parents have to say for you, or you hate that they give you jobs or chores, or you just don't want to listen to their lessons, well, don't do that, because Yahuwah says, obey your parents, and you shall live long upon the land the Lord, the Yahuwah has given you.
And they have all the experience, right? They've been through it. They've done it. They're up to where they are now with you. They've been through so many more years than you. And they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Experience is the best teacher, and they had the experience. They went through the experience, and now they're teaching you so you don't make the same mistakes they made. So the next thing was to stay away from the adulterous lifestyle. Stay away from it. It will bring you down to nothing. You'll end up in a thief in the ditches that are looking for a piece of bread, that are looking just for a tiny crust that you do not starve. So that was all. That was the recap. That was everything. We hope you guys learned something from this. If you guys have any questions, any comments, any recommendations, please leave them down below in the comments. We really appreciate your guys' time. We thank you guys for showing up here, taking a little bit of time out of this. If you guys want to, again, join the Telegram group.
Right, it'll be linked down.
It's linked down in the description. It's already there. You guys should just click it. If you have Telegram, if not, you can download it from the Google Play or the App Store on Apple, I think is what it is. I don't remember what they call them when they change their names all the time. But
alright, yeah, it's for kids or younger people that want to talk about the Torah, their lifestyles, what's going on, the problems they have, or just understanding something of the Bible.
Basically, we're there to help. We're there for answers. If you guys need anything, let us know.
LeGrand, thank you very much, and you are very welcome. Yahuwah bless.
Alright, everyone. Shalom.
Shalom.
Have a nice evening. Read your Bibles. Pray.
And remember these lessons and apply them to your lives.